Hello, everyone. This is Wally, if you've never been here before, and my channel is called Walking Through the Word. And today we're going to be starting a new series, if you will, on discipleship. And the reason I'm going there is because during my classes, I'm currently enrolled in a MDiv program with Liberty University, and we're studying about discipleship. And I thought it was interesting, some of the things I'm reading, and how maybe over the years, I've been saved 30 years, maybe over the years, we've kind of forgotten all that's involved in wanting to be a follower of Jesus Christ. So we're going to do a study, a number of passages. Today we're going to be working in Luke 14. And I'm going to read from verses 25 through 30. And let me put my readers on here. Luke 14, 25 through 30. Now large crowds were going along with him, Jesus, and he turned and said to them, "If anyone comes to me and does not hate his own father, mother, wife, children, brothers, sisters, yes, and even his own life, he cannot be my disciple. Whoever does not carry his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. For which one of you, when he wants to build a tower, does not first sit down and calculate the cost to see if he has enough to complete it, or she has enough to complete it? Otherwise, when he has laid a foundation and is not able to finish, all who are watching it will begin to ridicule him, saying, 'This person began to build and was not able to finish.'" We're starting with Luke 14. There'll be many more, but Jesus says some specific things about what it takes to be a disciple. First, I'm sure this first passage, verse, "If anyone comes to me and does not hate his own father, mother, wife, and children." And of course, he's not talking about hating any of our family. In fact, Jesus will say in some places to love your neighbor as yourself, right? So what does he mean? He means one of the primary things about being a disciple of Jesus is that you worship him above all else. You forsake all worldly goods. You forsake all worldly pleasures. Doesn't mean you can't have a job. It doesn't mean you can't pursue success. But what it does mean is that those things are secondary to Christ. Nothing replaces Christ. So as we go through and look at this, so you have to love Jesus above, yes, even your wife, okay? Does that mean you don't love your wife? Absolutely not. But when it comes down to the brass tacks, Jesus rules in our lives, okay? "Whoever does not carry his own cross and come after me cannot be my disciple." Okay, first of all, what is a disciple? It's a person that learns, okay? It's a person in Jesus's day, and even in the Old Testament, it's an individual that's following a particular teacher, okay? For us, that teacher is Christ. So if we don't carry our own cross and come after him, we can't be a disciple of Jesus Christ. So what does that mean, carry our own cross? There's going to be burdens that we bear. There may be, to put it in terms of work, there may be promotions that you have to turn down, or positions that you have to turn down, because they're going to disagree or interfere or go against the teachings of Christ. This happens, folks, if you're serious about being a disciple, because a disciple is not someone that just is, "I love Jesus," and it ends there with a word. It's, you have to love Christ in a way that you're willing to give your life up for him, okay? In some cases, there's people in the world right now doing just that, giving up their life for Christ, okay? So to carry our own cross means that there'll be burdens, there'll be persecutions that we have to bear up under. Everybody that's ever been a Christian at some point in their life has to bear up under some level of persecution. "For which one of you, when he wants to build a tower, does not first sit down and calculate the cost?" And I'm going to stop there and talk about that. What does that mean, to calculate the cost? Is there a specified cost to being a Christian? Well, if you have a lot of family or friends that aren't Christians, what does that mean? Does it mean you won't be able to hang out with them? No. But it means you're not going to spend the bulk of your time with them either. You can't be encouraged, you can't be built up into Christ by hanging out with a bunch of people that don't believe in Him. Now you could say, well, that's how we're going to do evangelism. And that's one thing to do evangelism sometimes, by hanging out with these people. But if they don't believe, brothers and sisters, you are not going to be encouraged by hanging out with them. They will rub off on you. It's impossible that they don't. I'm 70 years old. I can speak from experience. When I spend too much time hanging out with people that aren't believers, that rubs off on me. That has an effect on me. And so count the cost means you're thinking about all the different things before you say, yes, I want to follow you, Christ. Now we'll talk about, I'm a Reformed Baptist. We'll talk about all those things later on. But for right now, I just want you to think about, you feel a desire to follow Christ. Maybe you're already a Christian. I hope you are. But have you really decided to follow Christ regardless of the cost? What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to give up in order to follow Christ? That's what discipleship is all about. Sacrificing this worldly life, this living amongst the heathen, if you will. We can't follow what they want. We can't agree with the things that they want to agree with if they go outside of the Word of God, if they go outside of the teachings of Jesus Christ. So count the cost. Are you willing to count the cost? Are you willing to take up your cross and follow Him? When times get difficult, are you still interested? Are you still willing to follow Christ? Or are you going to give up the first time you suffer a little bit of backlash or somebody says something to try to embarrass you? And then are you going to consider Christ above every other relationship in your life? Christ, that relationship has to supersede all others. Well, it's been a pleasure talking with you today. Again, if this is your first time here, my name's Wally, and I look forward to going through the Bible, walking through the Word, as the channel is called. And I'll see you next time.